Hello, everyone. Welcome to the AI for Good Innovation Factory. My name is Josh Choi from the ITU, the International Telecommunication Union. I have the privilege of introducing today's Innovation Factory pitching session. ITU is the United Nations Specialized Agency for ICTs, and we are also the organizer of the AI for Good Global Summit, alongside with the XPRIZE Foundation in partnership with 38 UN sister agencies and co-convened with the Switzerland government. The Innovation Factory is a program launched last year under the flagship of initiative of AI for Good Global Summit. It is an online pitching platform to help startups grow and scale their innovative AI-powered and SDG-driven solutions by connecting them to potential business partners, investors and governments and big IT companies and UN organizations and more, and et cetera, et cetera. Last year, we received more than 200 startup applications from 46 countries. And this year, so far, within 3 sessions, we received more than 100 applications from 30 different countries. So it is becoming a really interesting global pitching platform, particularly focusing on AI, intersection of AI and SDGs. Okay, so now I'm going to kickstart today's session. We received more than 20 applications from 9 countries for today's pitching session, and I'm also very, very glad to introduce 5 finalists today. And we have fintech, we have agri-tech, also clean tech, and also the chatbot system for the victims of violence, and also ESG monitoring solutions, startups, etc. They have a very, very interesting business ideas and business models. So I'm very, very excited to see their pitch and then their vision and the business model. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to introduce our distinguished judges for today's session. All our judging members are really big influencers and experts in the startup scene who are really passionate about accelerating the growth of startups, who have a great potential of social impact, particularly from the SDG perspective. And also, interestingly, today our judges are all female experts, which I think this is really great. So let me first start with Ms. Yana Abramova. Yana is a managing partner at XPRIZE Ventures, a UK-based venture capital firm with a focus on seed and Series A companies, in particularly AI, fintech, and the future of work life sectors. So Yana, can you please a little bit more talk about your professional background and what's your business focus, particularly from XPRIZE Ventures perspective?
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much, Josh, for the introduction. Yes, I'm Yana, managing partner of XPRIZE Ventures. It's an early stage fund based in London, and we invest in mostly European entrepreneurs who is on a mission to automate things around us so we can focus on priorities. And our core focus is B2B companies. Yes, happy to be here today. And my background is mostly infrastructure and work with growth stage companies. That's what I've done previously to setting up the venture fund. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. And also, I also wish you can leverage this interesting initiative and opportunity as a way for you guys to also look for a really interesting, great startup as well. Okay, let's move to Ms. Vera Futuriansky, who is founder and CEO of Veritas Ventures, but she also holds multiple professional titles. So she's really highly experienced innovation expert, advising both corporates and governments, and also help them build and thriving systems. So Vera, can you also briefly introduce your business now, and then also your new adventure as the CEO of Veritas Ventures, and then particularly some of the lessons learned, basically you got from recent talks and discussions with really high-level people, particularly in your region.
Thank you so much, Josh. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really happy to have been part of this innovation factory from the very beginning, and I'm happy to see how it has grown and get so much attention. So thank you for having me. Yes, my name is Vera Fotoriansky. I'm the CEO and founder of Veritas Ventures, which is not a fund yet, but will eventually be, with a focus on well-being. For now, it's an advisory firm, and I advise governments, family offices on investment activities and on innovation activities. Pretty much sector agnostic for now, but going forward, it will be a well-being focused fund with, your typical mental health, meditation, but also longevity, food technology, and future of work. And especially, I'd like to put some focus on financial education for women. To answer your question on what I have seen lately, I think we're moving a lot towards, and I hear that from many conversations I've been having over the past months, we're moving a lot towards impact investing now. So people finally, I think, started really doing that. Just yesterday, I had another talk with somebody who's setting up an ESG fund in Dubai, where I'm usually based right now. I'm in Europe, in fact, in Germany at my parents' house. But I see that the region where I'm based, normally the Middle East, is really moving towards understanding impact investing and not just thinking it's philanthropy. So that's great news for the mission that the ITU has and for the UN in general. So I hope more will be coming out of that. Looking forward to hearing the pitches today.
Thank you very much. And also, in addition to your support in Innovation Factory, also we wish we can even build more interesting, business opportunities and partnership, and in building a relationship with your regional also impact investors, and also a lot of stakeholders between with also UN as well. Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And and then let's move to Ms. Melissa Tickle. Melissa is an investment manager at Finca Ventures with 7 years of experience in impact investing and SME finance and ESG management. And Finca Ventures, as far as I know, is an early stage impact investors, especially support social entrepreneurs across sub-Saharan Africa. So Melissa, can you also talk a little bit more about Finca Ventures adventure, particularly in impact investing? What are the really key lessons, particularly this year, and from also the COVID-19 situation, etc.?
Sure. Hi, everyone. And yeah, happy to be here. Melissa Tickle here, investment manager at Finca Ventures, as Josh mentioned. We are an early stage impact investor that invest in early stage businesses across sub-Saharan Africa. We're part of a much larger organization called Finca International that's been in the microfinance space for the past 40 years. So use a number of those lessons learned and relationships from that organization to make investments and help startups grow on the continent. We invest in 3 main verticals, so in healthcare, in agriculture, and in financial inclusion or fintech, and invest across more traditional brick and mortar models, and then also more tech-enabled plays. So we're looking at a wide variety of companies, and I think just over the past year, it's been interesting having to shift all due diligence to being remote via Zoom and all of that, and working with a number of co-investors a lot more closely to be able to dig into business models and really lean on their due diligence to get deals closed and moving forward.
Great, thank you very much. And also, I hope also this Innovation Factory will be also another interesting opportunity for Finca Ventures missions and the mandate to support innovative startups, particularly on the social impact. Thanks again. And then lastly, Ms. Sasha Kyle. Okay, Sasha is a serial technology entrepreneur. So she's a distinguished speaker and a startup mentor. Also, she holds also a lot of multiple professional titles as well. And she's also specially focused on bringing AI-enabled technology to the health sector. So Sasha is actually, for her, it's the second time this year as a judge. Thank you very much for your time and your enthusiasm to support this initiative. And also, yeah, please tell me a little more about your work these days, and particularly some of the issues related to healthcare and the AI sector.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. Typically, I split my time between the US and Switzerland, and currently I'm joining in this wonderful group from Switzerland. As George just mentioned, my name is Sasha Cahill. I'm a serial technology entrepreneur. I've been in the health tech space for over a decade now. As a technologist, I focus on AI, ML, IoT, and blockchain application for healthcare space. And one of the great things I've seen that COVID has done to the industry, it has sparkled innovation and collaboration, which is really, really needed. So I see, and what does it mean for technology? So I see a lot more application and reimbursement, which is equally as important in the healthcare space. For IoT, I also see finally some great applications of blockchain in the health tech space. I see increased funding, especially in the United States, and I see increased funding, although in comparison to US, Europe is a little bit lagging investments, but I see some improvement there as well. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. So yeah, it's great to have amazing, the judges today. And then let me briefly introduce how it works today. So there are 5 finalists today. So I'm going to give 5 minutes for the pitch and 10 minutes Q&A with judges. So in total, 15 minutes per each startup. So I will I'll do my best to make a really strict time management in order to give the actually fair opportunity for the startup, but at the same time, also wanted to make these sessions more compact and more informative in a very timely manner. Then after the final pitch, I'm going to give a little bit, a few minutes to our judges to discuss on finalizing their decision on who is going to be one winner. But in that time, during that time, if time permits, I'm going to ask some separate questions to each startups about their story, about how they actually established this business and what are the motivation, which might not be covered during the pitch, so that we can understand better your entrepreneurship spirit, and then the entrepreneurship, the mindset. Then one of our judges will going to make an announcement on who will be the winner. And then I will just do a little bit of final comments, also final comments from each judge on the overall evaluation. Then we're going to close it. So it would take around 1 hour, 30 minutes or 45 minutes or something, right? Okay, so yeah, now it's time for us to move on to actual pitching now here. So the first pitch will be done from FarmSpeak. Yeah, so the Chief Operation Officer of FarmSpeak, Israel Alabi, is going to present their business model. So FarmSpeak is a startup who builds smart monitoring and management solutions for African livestock farmers to improve their productivity and also increase their profits. So Israel, it's your turn. So please turn on your screen and then speak on and then share your screen.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes. Okay, so now start within 5 minutes. Please go ahead.
All right, so hi, everyone. My name is Israel Alabi. I'm the Chief Operations Officer of FarmSpeak Technology. African poultry farmers are among the poorest working class group in the world. Despite having over 180 million birds, over 55% of these are exposed to fluctuating weather conditions, which leads to extreme heat stress. And with this, poultry farmers experience high mortality rates, which keeps them continually poor. At FarmSpeak Technology, we came up with 2 solutions that work hand in hand: an AI-powered poultry management software called FS Manager, and an IoT-powered hardware device called PenKeep. This device, like I said, they work hand in hand. PenKeep uses IoT, Internet of Things, to be able to monitor and capture essential microclimatic parameters in a poultry house. So as you can see on the screen, we have the humidity sensor, the temperature sensor, and the air quality sensor, because these parameters are the most important for poultry farmers. So PenKeep harvests this data and sends it to our cloud server that analyzes this data point and juxtaposes it with our ideal result. Now, in the case of an imbalance, whether it's too hot or it's too cold, our AI algorithm is going to trigger a buzzer in the PenKeep so that it can notify anyone around the farm that there is an imbalance and its stress is on the way, so they can quickly adjust the environment. In the situation where there's nobody on the farm, the farmer also gets an SMS and an email notification on his phone. And we also have add-ons that the farmer can purchase, such that the AI system is going to regulate the environment by itself, even in the farmer's absence. Not only that, our AI-powered software solution also allows the farmer to diagnose poultry diseases. With a set of data that we've entered into the system, the farmer can answer some series of questions and using keywords and symptoms to be able to know what is going on and what the poultry birds are experiencing before this becomes a full-blown disease, because the cost of accessing veterinary services in Africa is quite high, and poultry farmers cannot afford them readily. So our AI solution, we enable them to access quality veterinary service even before they meet an expert. Our value proposition includes to increase farmers' productivity and profitability. We are also keen on improving food security in Africa, because poultry is one of the fastest growing subsector in Africa. We are also looking towards combating climate change by reducing the unrestricted fossil fuel burning, because poultry farmers have to keep their heater on, their either the wood or the electricity, they have to keep it on, or the generator, they have to keep them on unrestricted, because they do not know when it's getting too hot for the birds, so they have to leave them on. So we intend to regulate this usage and thereby combating climate change. And also we are enabling data-driven agriculture in Africa. Currently, the African livestock market is valued at over $90 billion. And in West Africa, including Nigeria and 16 other countries, the livestock market is valued at over $31 billion. And our target market are Nigerian poultry farmers that is estimated at $2.4 billion. The impact we intend to make is we want to lift African farmers out of poverty and drudgery, because the African agricultural space is synonymous with extreme drudgery and poverty. And heat stress and cold stress is one of the leading causes of poverty for poultry farmers. So by the time we are able to regulate the environment and make African farmers climate resilient, lifting them out of poverty will become much easier. Also, we are encouraging youth and women participation in agriculture, because Africa has a youthful population, but a lot of them are not going into the agricultural sector because of the drudgery involved. But with our solution, they will see agriculture in a new light, and they will be encouraged to join agriculture. Not only that, we intend to create employment opportunities for people in low-income communities. They would serve as our agents to reach these farmers. Our business model, currently we have 4 major income streams for our farmers. Our hardware, our high-utility power hardware sells for $250. And to make the payment flexible for our farmers, we spread it into 3 to 4 months so that they can easily cover this. The AI-powered software solution can be accessed at a subscription of $25 a year and $2.5 per month, so depending on the farmer's convenience. And also, we offer after-sales services to farmers, which includes installation, maintenance, servicing, and other after-sales services. And the cost will also differ based on the complexity of the need and also the distance of the farm. agribusinesses can also place ads on our platform on our adware as well. And by targeting only 25,000 farmers, we'll be able to generate $7.5 million within 3 to 5 years. Our go-to-market strategy, we are partnering with the Poultry Association of Nigeria with over 100,000 farmers in partnership in place with 4 states in Nigeria. And we are looking to expand this area in other 32 states of the country. We also leverage
30 seconds.
We also leverage on agribusiness conferences, digital marketing, and the support we are looking for from AI for Good is to be able to improve our strategy and make it more competitive, and also access the expert network, guided mentorship. This is our team of both the advisors and also the people working on the idea. We have Peter. Peter is an embedded system specialist, so he works on the hardware and software, and is being assisted by James, who is the assistant technology officer, and the chief operations officer. We have a marketing specialist and a training officer that interfaces with these farmers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, can you stop your screen share?
All right.
Okay, so thank you very much, Israel, and for your presentation. Okay, so let's quickly move to the Q&A. Israel,
Yeah,
can you stop? Yeah, can you stop sharing your screen?
Yeah, that's what I intend to do. Okay. All right. It has stopped now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, okay, Q&A session here. So, judges, please ask questions to Israel. Who's going to start? Yeah, Yana, please.
Hi, Israel.
Yeah. Hi, Israel. Can you also open your camera as well?
Sorry?
Can you open your camera?
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Hi, Israel. Thank you so much for the presentation. I have a quick question about your 2 components of your product. So it's a software and the hardware. How can I use my software without having this pen keep in place?
Okay. Manager, that's a software. It has its own features. It has about 8 different features that the farmer can also use. It serves as a management software as well, and also a poultry detection software, disease detection software. So on the management aspect, the farmer can use it to record his expenses, income, his sales reports, all those documentations that are needed on the farm. So it's also going to help the farmer digitize his operations such that the farmer does not have to be using paper and pen, which is the traditional method currently in use in Nigeria today and most parts of Africa. So the farmer can subscribe for that alone and be using the management and the. So the AI for the disease detection is the most important one. People cannot afford it. So they can easily diagnose any symptom they see on their birds by just asking a series of questions. And we also have an option for them to snap their birds and be able to use image recognition, be able to detect, okay, what exactly is this bird experiencing? And so they can understand the disease and the symptoms that the birds are having, even before meeting a qualified veterinary doctor.
Okay, thank you. So if I understand correctly, so then in order to have this system in place, you still need to have this hardware component on each farm?
No. Like I just explained, the software can stand alone. It also works as a management software and a disease detection.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Sasha, please.
Quick question on the competition. I'm not familiar with Nigerian market specifically, but I do know that global producers like Monsanto have developed technology that they're selling across different markets. So just wondering, why is your product more appealing than some of your competitors in the market? And also curious about the pricing. Is this an affordable option for the farmers?
All right, thank you for the questions. Currently in Nigeria, companies like Obonet and Enviromonitor that are into farm monitoring and automation, they have little to no presence in Africa presently. The only company that is into livestock automation and regulation is Zenforce. And Zenforce targets governments and large-scale crop farmers in Nigeria today. So they don't deal with smallholder farmers or individual farmers. They only interact with the government and big organizations and cooperatives. And we also have Arinifu in Kenya. They build smart brooders for farmers, for poultry farmers. So those are the competitors we have. But compared to our competitors, number one, we've broken down this farm automation system into bite-sized units. Because from our research, we found that a full automation system for farms could be as high as $1,000. And smallholder farmers in Africa cannot afford this. So we have to break them down into units. That's why Pancake sells for $250. Now, this cost might still be straining. It's not that they cannot afford it, but considering other realities, it might be straining on their pocket. So that's why we give them a flexible payment system so that they can pay in 3 to 4 installments. That's that on the pricing. And in addition to this, our poultry management software, the FS Manager, that's also powered by AI, and also it has local languages, our indigenous languages, which include Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. So for farmers who are also versatile with English and they want to enter their details and use the software in maybe Yoruba, for those in southwestern Nigeria, they can easily do that. And most of these other solutions do not have that. So we have that as an advantage to us.
Super quick follow-up question. You make sense. I like your flexible payment method, which I think is definitely useful. And have you considered partnership with a technology company or equipment company, to be more specific? So that would probably help you expand further outside of Nigerian market and even within Nigerian market, because it sounds like your software has a lot of different components that might be useful, if that makes sense.
All right, yeah, so like I mentioned, organizations, although presently Nigeria does not have hardware producing companies. For instance, we don't produce ICs in Nigeria or resistors and other things like that, LCDs that are needed for our hardware solution. But Nigeria does not produce, so we have to source all these things from abroad. But other aspects, we also have local technology shops that we work with. We are in partnership with Poultry Association of Nigeria. They are focused solely on poultry. They're like a cooperative for poultry farmers. And as at last check, there are over 100,000 farmers. We are also partnering with other agri-tech companies that can help us to bring more value to our customers.
That makes sense. I would edit that in your presentation, because in your presentation, you only outline what aspect. This go-to-market strategy actually makes a lot more sense. And I think it will help you expand from Nigerian market a lot faster than selling onto, like you've mentioned in your presentation, I believe it was a group of farmers, association of farmers. So thank you for your answers. Thank you.
Yeah, even like yesterday, we had an exhibition by the International Institute of Africa, that's IITA. So we presented our solution to over 500 stakeholders in the agricultural sector. So we also leverage on demo days, conferences, and the like to be able to reach more customers.
Okay, we have around, yeah. Melissa, please go on, yeah. And Melissa and Vera, yeah.
Great. My one question to start is your plans for using the technology for livestock other than poultry.
Sorry, I don't get the question.
Are you planning on expanding the use of technology for livestock other than poultry, especially on the agri-vet side?
Yeah, actually, we are starting with poultry so that we don't start out big. owing to the resources that we have. But we've started designing solutions for the aquaculture sector, because it's also a fast-growing agriculture subsector in Nigeria presently. And also thinking of expanding to other aspects of the livestock value chain. We have goat rearing, we have cattle rearing, and a whole lot of other ones as well. So we have solutions in the pipeline that we are developing. And as we expand, as we grow, we are going to be unveiling more to the public.
Thanks. And then just a quick follow-up to that. For the hardware solution itself, just so I'm getting this right, it's the data that's being collected through the hardware is mainly focused on weather data. Is that right?
Yes, for now, yes,
okay.
On weather.
Okay. And where is that information being collected from?
From the farms. So we have our cloud server. We had our cloud server with Amazon. So that's where our server is based. So all the data from the farms, from individual farms, are going to our own cloud server that is going to now analyze it and come up with and juxtapose it with the ideal conditions. Now, when there is an imbalance, it's going to send the notification to farmers as SMS and as email, and also it's going to trigger a buzzing sound. Now, for the software itself, farmers they have access to their data over a period of time, because they can always access their information on the software anytime they want.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
George, if we're running out of time, I don't really have to ask. I know we're a bit under time pressure, so this was a great presentation, Israel. Thank you so much. We can move on to the next one if you like. Up to you, Josh. I was going to ask a question about funding, actually maybe just a piece of advice, Israel. I don't know if you're talking to Launch Africa. Have you heard of that fund in Africa? Also, I don't know, are you raising, in fact? I mean, you probably will need capital to continue building. So
yeah, we need capital. We are, okay, continue please.
So I wanted to mention to you a fund called Launch Africa, which is run by a friend. So maybe I'm a little bit biased, but they're a great fund that looks at, it's sector agnostic, but they'll look at impact startups. So maybe take a look at them and have a conversation with them for your next funding round.
All right, thank you. I've noted the name. I'll check them out.
Okay, please do.
Okay.
Oh, thank you very much, Vera, for your kind. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, just 10 minutes just finished. Thank you very much for your presentation again, Israel, and thanks a lot to all our judges for question. Also, Vera, thank you very much for your very kind arrangement here. Okay, let's quickly move to the second pitching. So we encourage.
Hello, thank you. I will now start sharing my screen. I hope you will all see it. Is it okay?
Yes, it is okay. So yeah, you can start now for 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So we encourage develops a customizable AI tool for victims of domestic abuse to provide long-term support and guidance 24/7. Why? 1 in 3 women globally experience domestic violence. Even too many women are subject to violence. It is a hidden crime, as only 10% of domestic violence cases are reported to the police. Mia is one of those victims. She has trouble finding help and information. NPO support is limited and scattered. Doctors often just prescribe medication, and there is lack of psychosocial help and therapy. Police doesn't take her seriously. She has inadequate resources to realize her situation. She is too ashamed of herself and the situation to speak another person. Abnormal life has become normal. She is unable to walk out. The estimated yearly cost of intimate partner violence in the EU are 109 billion euros. Costs are related to physical and emotional impact, provision of services such as healthcare, social welfare, and justice. There is lost economic output due to loss of earnings and absence of work. and need of specialized services such as shelters, helplines, support centers, and counseling. The AI tool offers long-term psychosocial support, which is currently hard to access. Step-by-step recommendations, information, assessments, risk analysis, safety plans, guidance towards helping services. INO tool will bring cost savings by offering the support for victims and due to preventative actions and less need of services. And due to earlier intervention, there is increased economic output. Digital women's health market is estimated to be 3.3 billion euros by 2026. There are 1 billion women capable of using digital women's health solutions, which as 30% of women worldwide are experiencing domestic violence. This means that the serviceable addressable market is 300 million women, of which we are aiming to reach 5% of potential users by 2030, totaling 15 million women. Our secret sauce is the expertise on the subject matter. There is a global network of violence professionals. We have user-centric co-creation, personalized recommendations based on the user input, and the psychosocial support, which is created with violence counselors, and the tool acts as a gateway to therapy. Domestic violence specific AI tool is customizable for different types of users and stakeholders globally. Our starting point is women victims, but the solution is intended to be applicable for different types of victims and finally for the violence professionals and the perpetrators. Our business model consists of different revenue streams, customizable co-development projects, license and subscription fees, and intel purchases. In our go-to-market strategy, we have started with NGOs, and with the help of survivor ambassadors, we're spreading the word of the tool. Our idea and solution has been validated with over 100 violence professionals and 20 violence survivors. We have had our first international project going on in Tanzania, and we have launched our MVP for feedback collection. We are invited to take part in EU-wide domestic violence frontline response consortium to take part in EU-wide Horizon project. We want to be encouraged to accomplish serving those 15 million women who suffer from domestic violence over the next few years. But in the next term, we would like to build the AI tool prototype, continue our project in Tanzania, and widen our network in Africa, participate in the EU project, develop our business and sales. And in order to do so, we're raising 500,000 euros. Our team has a total of 30 years plus years of experience in domestic violence issues, specifically in psychosocial counseling services for victims of domestic violence. In addition, we have experience in entrepreneurship, marketing, and finance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna, for your very timely presentation. This is very exactly 5 minutes. This is great. Okay, so let's quickly move to Q&A. Perhaps Sasha wanted to ask question first.
A lot of questions. I'm sure the other advisors, experts. I'm going to start with, first of all, acknowledging your problem. COVID has only escalated the number of cases worldwide, unfortunately, violent cases. So it is certainly a solution that's needed. My question is, first question is, what does the success look like for you? So success from business perspective, and then I would like to understand what does success look like for your customer? Okay, so those are two different questions. And when it comes to your customer too, so it is proven that in the healthcare space, you can entirely take out a human element and substitute it with AI, no matter how intelligent your AI is. So do you have a human component as well, or do you basically just have questions, answers, right? So help me understand. Thank you.
Yes, so basically I will start with the latter question on the customer perspective, because what we have done in the past 2 years is that we have tried to understand the end user. So we have been interviewing those who are the survivors of violence. And what we were actually not understanding was first that we thought that there is a lot of services available. There are NGOs, there are different types of helplines and chats, but actually the survivors felt that it's hard to access those services. Those are scattered. They were craving for information, but they didn't know where to start, how to find those, and they were just kind of looking for more. And as we are not trying to replace the human being, and in fact in our team there are 3 therapeutists who are talking with these victims, what they would like to have is to have a reliable information source. So the tool acts as almost like an assistant. So you can talk with the tool, and it's not trying to replace the human being, but it's trying to make the person understand that there is help available and you should reach out, and you can and you should reach out rather earlier than too late, which is the case at the moment. So many of the women are too ashamed of their situation to even start looking for help, and they usually belittle the situation, so they wait for too long before they reach out for help. So in that sense, the tool acts in a way that you can start asking basically what's normal in the relationship. So you can start talking with the tool, and based on the triggering words such as he has been calling me a whore, or he has been calling me names, he's always yelling at me, he's for example, he's pushing me. So based on those trigger words, the tool will understand that, okay, it seems that there is mental violence involved, and then there is physical violence involved. So it can explain that there are different forms of violence. So even he hasn't hit you yet, there might still be violence, and there are these and these entities that could help you. Also, for example, there is in Finland, it's illegal for a husband to rape his wife. So based on these type of incidences, it can then understand that if such an incident has happened, it can guide towards a right type of NGO, which offers, for example, services for those victims who are subject to crime, so that they know where to contact and how to kind of move with the process. It can explain that what happens if you contact police, for example. It can also explain the situation with child welfare and so on. So kind of provide information which otherwise might be hard to look for, or hard to understand in even some cases. So it's basically not trying to act as a substitute, but as a support, so that it's always guiding towards helping services, and also towards counseling services, because psychosocial support is quite hard to access at the moment for victims of violence. They don't know where to start looking for it, and so on. Did I answer to your question?
Did answer to the question. Thank you very much. Super quick follow-up. How, when it comes to stickiness, right? So you have a subscription model for your end users. Like you've mentioned, number of opportunities for sales, like NGOs, large organizations, so on and so forth, right? So I'm just wondering about stickiness. Let's say if I have a question, now you told me basically where to go for solution, then I'm going to pay for your subscription service for maybe like a month or a week or whatnot, right? Until my issue is hopefully resolved by another entity. So just, can you relate the business opportunity to the healthcare crisis, I would say, to your business opportunity? What is your opportunity for, like, how scalable are you? You know, how, you know, your subscription model, like I question it a little bit, because it sounds like it's going to be a very short-term engagement. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, hopefully.
Can you be a little bit quick, because we spent already 5 minutes, so please be quick, and so that we can also give the opportunity for other jurists to ask, right? Okay.
Yes, so basically for NGOs, we offer a subscription model so that they can have the tool on their website, and by that replace the human-operated chats, which are open only a few hours per week. For the end users, we offer different types of counselors materials for self-help, so that they can have e-courses or different types of material, for example, PDF, ebooks, and such, so that they can purchase those through the services. Also, the commission, if they enter the therapeutic services through our AI tool, then we take the commission from those purchases.
Okay, perhaps Vera, I think you have a question.
Yes. First of all, Anna, I love it. It totally goes along the, well-being I would be looking at. I think it's great and it's much needed, to solve problems there. So congratulations on building this. I had some questions. I also have a lot of questions, but I know we have to be quick. So, once, I know you launched in Tanzania, so you launched already, right? So the app is probably up and running.
No, we have MVP here in Finland that we are testing, and currently we are mapping out the market. So we're trying to understand what is needed, what are the barriers, what is the current service path, and so on in Tanzania. So we have just started over there.
And why Tanzania?
We were invited to take part in a project in there. There is a Finnish NGO based in Tanzania, and they wanted to test if our tool could be taken into the Tanzanian market.
Okay, interesting. Because then you mentioned that there will be entities that will help the person. So probably one of the most important things for you is to build partnerships with those entities, to be able to actually guide the women to the right partners later on. Is that and I know you're raising 500K. So those 500K, which I think is quite a lot, actually. I think you can do it with much less money. What do you think is your focus in order to get it up and running as quickly as possible?
Yes, the partnerships are the key. So we need an ecosystem so that the application works. And in Tanzania, we have partners that we have been gathering together for this project. And for example, we have a national child helpline, which is operating throughout the Africa. And our partners are interested in somehow involving our AI tool into the child helpline. So we are also exploring the possibilities how we could implement it there, and we are also testing different ways for those women who cannot afford mobile phones and such, that how can we reach and access those as well.
Or even women. While I was listening to you, and I really loved the presentation and the whole concept, those violent husbands probably have access to the wives' phones as well. So how do we, make sure that they don't find out that the wife's actually talking about that? So I think maybe that needs like a second layer security there as well on the development side. And the 500,000, what do you think this money is mostly needed for? What do you see your highest cost?
Our highest cost is the development, so that we are able to create the machine learning algorithm in a way that it's enough intelligent and capable of mimicking the therapeutist and the language and the tone of voice. So that is the biggest cost.
Yeah, I can imagine. And last but not least, I know you're raising money from VCs, but maybe it's worth looking into grants, into different governments who would sponsor something like that, because I would think there will be budget for that. If it helps, you can reach out to me. I have a friend who does something similar in Mexico. So maybe I can put you in touch and she can advise you on how they did it, because I know they did it with very little financial support. So, but yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yes, because we have been bootstrapping until now, so definitely needed.
Grants. The Finnish government has so much money, so maybe they have some allocation for that.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Okay, perhaps we can deal with one question. So Jana and Melissa, if one of you guys wanted to ask a question. Yes, yeah, Jana, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very quick one. Hi, Anna. Just want to understand where you are in terms of AI, about especially conversational AI, because from my understanding, you connect on your platform women who seek for some help can connect with the app, and the app can provide some guidance. So is it you're planning to do it all automatic, but to automate it all? But how is ready the solution right now, and then what is the accuracy of the algorithms, and if you can share some information, would be great. Thank you.
Yes, so if I got correctly your question. Currently, where we are at, we have the MVP built on the basic customer chatbot. So we have basic, no AI or anything fancy. It's basically just a yes and no type of questionnaire, which is built on top of bots. So we can test the tone of voice, how people would like to talk with the bot and so on. So how does it feel? And we have created for the feedback, so people can give us feedback and recommendations. And for the actual prototype, we're currently looking for the good machine learning algorithm. So we are not there yet. So our developer is currently testing with the Microsoft bot development system. So what kind of algorithm we can do so that we are able to create it in a way that it's capable of giving this therapeutic ways of responding. And for that, we have a 3-step way of collecting data, so that we are first having the one-on-one conversations with survivors and violence professionals. And now we are entering to a second step where we will be simulating chat conversations then with victims and these therapeutes. And then on the third step, we try and have the bot be capable of having the conversation. And we have been mapping out different ready solutions that we could try out the tool, for example, from NVIDIA, Jarvis, and Nemo, and such.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, well, given limited time, let's quickly move on to the next presentation, Afia Record. So Afia Record is a patient-driven health data platform that allows patients to store their health records and medication they take. So yeah, title is your health data at your fingertips. That's great. Okay, so please go ahead. The presentation will be done by Umuhani Sudi, General Manager of Afia Record. Please go on.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Umuhani Zuhudi. I'm the General Manager for Afia Record. And I'm going to present Afia Record, which is a digital health platform that was built to empower patients to take ownership of their own health. So we built a platform that allows patients, because there was a limited infrastructure in Africa. So unfortunately, there is no portability or visibility of your own health when you go to a hospital. This is fine if you go to the same hospital. They are able to treat you because they own your health records, but unfortunately, it's not the case, because patients go to different hospitals at different stages. So unfortunately, what happens is you keep leaving your health records in different locations. So we built one decentralized patient-owned electronic health records where people can easily upload and store any health records that they capture. This includes their medication. So if I'm self-medicating, I'm able to capture a photo, take a photo of the medication I'm taking. So if I go to a pharmacy, I'm given a prescription, I can be able to store that, and at the same time, keep a health journal of everything that is going on with my health. We have different platforms, so we built multiple channels for patients just so they have full visibility and access at any given time. Patients can either use our USSD platform, which is currently active in Kenya only, or they can use our mobile app, which is available globally. And they can, as you can see, they can capture a health journal, they can keep a health journal, they can see their health records, they can take part in telehealth services and access various health services, including a mental wellness forum. We also have a web portal, which is accessible for both hospitals and patients. So if I lose my phone, I'm able to easily still access my information. The competitive advantage why AfriaRecord were different is because we deployed two of the most exponential technologies, that is AI and blockchain. So we encrypt all the data using blockchain, we tokenize all the information, and we also have AI models that we're building because AfriaRecord essentially is an EHR. It stores all these health records and we anonymize it and we use it to build and analyze various models. Now we are able to advise governments and health facilities in terms of precision medicine and also standardizing diagnosis and treatments. So the main efforts for everything that we're doing, the main point is that we want to improve access to healthcare for everyone. The competitive advantage, so we are among, we stand alone in terms of the platform, health tech platform that is both tokenized and is portable. So AfriaRecord, because we use AI, we do have quite a few competitors, and fortunately is that they focus on various, just a few other aspects and not inclusive of patients. Our roadmap, so we started ideation in 2019. We launched last year, and we have managed to form partnership with highly strategic partnership, including an indigenous AI, which is a genomic and genetic platform solution. And we are a Microsoft partner that we are launching, or all the data is being stored using Microsoft Azure, and we have a partnership with various associations, and for this year, we're looking to scale and build other models, AI models, and such. Our traction to date, so far we have onboarded over 40 facilities, and over 100,000 patients from who are using our web portal that patients' records have been digitized. We have over 6,000 USSD and mobile app users that are interacting and actively storing their health records. And we partnered with county government last year in Kenya that deployed our COVID tool because they wanted access to patients, direct access to patients who were self-isolating. We are actively raising we are pre-seed currently, and we're actively looking to raise our seed fund at 2 million, and our current valuation is 2 million, 8 million, and most of the money will go to markets. Right now, we are active in Kenya, and however, we are looking to expand, and we have started moving in Nigeria and South Africa and Zambia. The leadership team we have quite our founding team who actually are some of the most brilliant mind in the healthcare and technology. So we match both of the skill sets to build an extensive, well-versed team. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Moni. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so Sasha, yeah, you'll be the first. Yes.
It's digital health, so it's dear to my heart. Okay, I like your tool. I'm really familiar with Elara Health. They're doing exceptionally well. I love the fact that you guys using blockchain. I happen to develop and bring to market technology using blockchain and AI and IoT and whatnot. So I have a quick suggestion. So your product development roadmap makes sense. Within the value proposition, I will add, when you start dealing with diagnostics and genomics, you can actually monetize that data. In United States, health exchange markets will pay you very well. And there are other markets. I know there is one in Estonia that's coming up, so they also will pay very well. And there are a number of others, of course. Happy to sideline because I have another sort of a wild card there. Since you're using blockchain, you will need to, so tokenization will not be as useful. You have to expand your tech a little bit, but the newest, hottest thing in the health tech space now, post-COVID or during COVID, is decentralized trials. So you guys are well positioned to do so. Elara Health is not, because they're not using blockchain. So you guys sort of like moving forward. So again, happy to sideline, have a lot of ideas how to add additional value proposition. I love your traction. I only had one question here, and I'm an angel investor, so you have proper VCs here, so they might disagree. But based on your valuation, your raise seemed to me quite large. So I don't know what kind of term sheets you will get, you know, because there is and I also questioned the number here. So that's just a quick comment if you wanted to follow up with that.
Yeah, definitely. So we have managed to form very highly strong strategic partnerships. We do believe in partnership and collaboration, as you mentioned during your presentation, your introduction. And we've also gained massive traction, and we have started monetizing. So we are generating revenue, and we feel like with that in mind and the platforms that the various solutions, perhaps one thing that I didn't mention among the various solutions that we have include a COVID tool, which a government in Kenya actually deployed, and they were happy to use it, and it actually worked. We feel like we're past the evaluation, but yeah, definitely I'm willing to listen to any suggestion and feedback.
Okay, well, thank you for your answer as well. Okay, can I give a chance to Melissa, because she missed the question in the previous pitch, if you are okay?
Sure, happy to ask a question. Actually, I have two questions. So first being just to get a better sense of customer acquisition or patient acquisition here. Is your main strategy to partner with clinics and hospitals and have them onboard patients to the platform, or is it more direct to patient?
Yes, so last year we focused more from the clinic side. That's why we have massive traction in terms of web-based users or records that have been captured. But this year we are focusing more on the patients. So we are going directly to the patients. We're creating campaigns targeted to patient empowerment. We are working with, even in terms of the clinicians or the clinics that we're approaching are more from chronic illness patients. So patients and diabetic patients, patients who have lifestyle diseases, cancer patients, and also pregnant women who require constant monitoring.
Thanks for that. And then on the fundraise piece, I think about 800,000 was going towards tech build out. I was just wondering if you could provide a little bit more detail there to what exactly planning to build upon.
Yeah, definitely mostly going to building AI models. So we have started digitizing a lot of health records, and we are collecting a lot of the health records, and we want our roadmap in terms of where we want to go is create actual standardized, very personalized and standardized processes, diagnostic and treatment processes for hospitals, first of all, so that they can be more efficient. This needs to be localized. So we need a team to have teams, R&D teams that will be in different locations, because sometimes even in terms of the existing standards, you'll find that one treatment might not work in a certain location, but will work perfectly in a different location. And also in terms of actually going to creating a more different symptom checkers. So we have various symptom checkers and assessment tools that already are currently active, but we want to more improve on them and create them and make them more engaging and interactive for patients.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, we have a little bit about maybe 4 minutes or something. So maybe Vera, Yana, if you have questions, please go ahead. Yeah.
I'm happy to ask a question. First of all, I was happy to see John on there. John and I were on the same panel in Dubai just a couple of weeks ago talking about crypto in Africa, and he is a friend, and I plan to come to Nigeria. You know, I think it's super interesting. I do agree with Sasha on the decentralized idea that she just shared with you. But before she shared that, I was actually thinking while I looked at your presentation, what did you mean by tokenized? So how would this data be tokenized? Could you speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So as you know, health records are very highly sensitive. So we want, and because it's live and patients are moving with it, they're using their phone to access it, or they're using the web portal, and all of them are connected. All our channels are connected. All our platforms are connected. So there is a high risk of anyone intercepting and actually accessing it. And also at the same time, what's the whole point is that we have, if you have access to your health records, you can easily share it with a medic. So I'm going to visit a patient, a doctor for the first time, and they don't have my full background, my health background. So I can easily share it with them. And we do that simply by tokenization. So if the link wasn't, if you shared access and it wasn't encrypted, or rather they don't have permission to access it, they won't be able to see it.
I mean, I think you can do this on a blockchain as well. I'm not sure why this has to be tokenized in order for the doctors to see the data, but maybe it's too technical, the question, so we don't have to go into detail on that one. I see Sasha came back on.
Love blockchain for healthcare. I think it's literally, it's going to revolutionize healthcare space.
So
you don't,
yeah, and we're also looking in terms of,
but she's right though, you don't have to tokenize it, but the blockchain does allow for you to segment, create access points, and to give permission. And another thing is, and I don't know how technical you are, you can actually parse the data, and you can also share just a limited piece of your, let's say, electronic medical record, or maybe you want to share your MRI image. So blockchain allows, it's just really is beautiful.
Yeah,
I know token is a buzzword, but I really think the blockchain there is completely enough. You don't want to tokenize the data unless.
I agree with you. Vera, I agree with you. I just wanted to make it clear. You don't really have to, but if this is the technical path they're taken, that's one way to accomplish it, but you technically don't have to.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm very pleased to have a discussion on blockchain, because also I myself also established my own blockchain startup a couple of years ago. But I mean, it's not really in a discussion session, so maybe we would better to use this time as questions. So maybe if Yana, do you have any question? We have just 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, something. So if you have a question, and then we can go quickly.
No, actually, I had this question about the blockchain as well, and why you need to tokenize it. And the other question is, I know that you are, Umhani is now in Kenya, but what's your expansion plans after? And then also the quick one about how you connect with the hospitals, because, for example, I understand that the patient has owns all the data, but how it's possible to automate things, because sometimes we all humans, and then we forget to put things in our let's say records, and so sometimes it just can get lost.
Yeah, definitely. So we wanted, at least we were focusing initially at least 2020 and 2021 just in Kenya, to make sure. We thought we're going to have a difficult challenge, and fortunately we have been pretty lucky, and we have gotten massive interest, and we have formed partnership with various associations like Medicine for Humanity, Indigenous AI, and they are taking us to different markets. So our partners are the ones who are almost forcing us to go to other markets in Africa. So as I mentioned, Nigeria, we are deploying our telehealth tool for patient psychiatrists. So these are doctors that are using, they want to use a Afya Record telehealth tool to access and reach their patients from wherever they are. And also in South Africa, we're going through the maternity. So pregnant women are looking for a platform, and the midwives, they're looking for a solution that they can help them connect and manage appointments and vaccination dates and such things. In terms of the second question, which was automating the health records. So right now, if I go to a hospital that has AFIA record, I don't have to do anything. So in terms, even including reminders for me to take my medication is automated, simply because the doctor issued a prescription for 5 days. So it will pick that and it will send everything on my mobile app. I'll get notified that I need to take my medicine. If I have a vaccine and a next appointment to go to, it will remind me. My MRIs, my scans, everything is automatically sent to me the moment I finish, I leave the hospital. So the system is set in a way that if they start my hospital visit, I get alerted as a patient that this hospital is accessing your health records. The moment they're done, they send a summary of my hospital visits.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm happy to sideline with Vera and Sasha.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank
also,
you.
yeah, it as well. All right, great. Okay, let's quickly move to XPRIZE Technologies. So Eric Minster is here. So XPRIZE Technology is a startup which helps environmental managers in municipalities to monitor and improve air quality in their region. So yeah, Eric, can you share your screen and then just go ahead with a presentation, please?
Yes, sure. Can you all see my screen? Yeah.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Eric Minster. I'm currently business developer at XPRIZE Technologies, at a pioneer in air quality sensors, data and analytics. Yeah, here you can see a picture of Istanbul, which is really polluted by smog, where Robert Heinecke, our CEO, had the funding idea of XPRIZE. So he thought about the smog in the city. It couldn't be that citizens have to breathe this air. Air pollution is actually considered to be the single biggest environmental health threat of our time, killing 7 million people and costing the world economy $5 trillion per year, according to the WHO. And yeah, data-driven decision-making currently remains kind of unfeasible, as sensing equipment is too expensive and stakeholders lack necessary knowledge to analyze the data, and suitable interventions are currently unknown. So these big bulky monitoring stations are for some of us familiar. They are operating really slowly, just gathering some data points per day, and it takes years to build and engineer, and they are also very costly to maintain. So that's the traditional way cities are measuring air quality. And XPRIZE provides hyperlocal comprehensive air quality data and AI-based decision support for cleaner actions, and potentially raising the efficiency and effectiveness of cleaner action plans by 10x. These sensors are actually 50,000 times smaller and 1,000 times cheaper than traditional solutions, and measuring the most relevant gases as well as PMs and VOCs. They can easily be implemented into the environment, and hence transparency throughout the city. As you can see in the upper right picture, you can just pin them onto a pole. Yeah. XPRIZE Technology is actually operating in 3 different segments. First of all, indoor air quality. So we are measuring or monitoring air quality indoors to improve employee health and align with employer branding. Then we have urban air quality, where we get hyperlocal information to improve cleaner actions, as well as involving citizens and integrate smart city solutions. And the third part is industrial emission, where we detect emission events, monitor external pollution, and use the data to communicate to residents. Yeah, so our data is visualized and analyzed in the Environmental Intelligence Cloud, as you can see, and this platform also provides some advanced analytics and intelligent tools to identify trends and manage targeted actions. We are currently integrating the data to provide air quality data based on routing to European citizens, such as with the Finnish startup Proximi.io. Their shared service will enable citizens to walk from A to B while exposing themselves to the least possible levels of air pollution, which is really important for endangered groups. Sorry. Our smart algorithms therefore suggest the most efficient and most effective cleaner action based on a catalog of more than 3,500 measures, and an AI is actually calculating the best measure based on the gases the sensors gathered over time. What is our societal impact? We are creating transparency throughout our sensors. We are providing hyperlocal air quality data for the whole cityscape. We are also enabling change. So for the first time ever, there's a tool for cities and business not only to identify pollution challenges, but also to identify the best approach to solve them. And we are also facilitating momentum through both action streams. We increase public demand for cleaner action and public pressure on the decision makers. So if more business gets involved in the air quality topic, and the air quality topic becomes more popular, it will roll out on itself. Yeah, quick company profile. We are currently 15 employees, have customers from over 9 nations, including the German, Danish, and US government, and working together with Microsoft. Some of our selected partners, as I said, we are a partner of Microsoft and also SAP, and have some downstream selected customers, such as Volkswagen, the city of Neckarsulm, and the city of Hennef, where we implemented our sensors in order to improve the traffic management. Together with Microsoft, we also created the densest sensor network in the world with 35 sensors covering an area of 14 square kilometers here in Hamburg.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Yeah, we would also like to educate about air quality, since we discovered that there's a lack of awareness in society because it's a topic which is not so handleable, and therefore set up a XPRIZE Academy where our environmental scientists educate about air pollution. Here, as you can see, in the city of Hamburg itself, but also on our blog, we publish on a regular articles about current topics. Yeah. So there's another customer case where we enhanced
we should finish
environmental
now.
monitoring for a German DAX chemical industry leader, contributing to a more livable environment, as well as enable communications with all stakeholders and also employees and residents. Our environmental intelligence is contributing worldwide to monitor and improve air quality, citizen health by sensing air quality, as well as aggregating other data from sources such as satellites or weather data.
Eric, time's up.
With that. Yeah, I think that was it for me. Just, I hope I'm under the 5-minute boundary. Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, actually,
Okay,
it was a little bit over time, so I actually,
Sorry.
elected several times, but you couldn't hear. Anyway, so.
Okay. Yeah, sorry,
Eric, you're not representing the Germans well, John.
Yeah, I know.
Time's up. Where's the German punctuality?
Okay, so yeah, just please stop the screen sharing, and then Vera, please go and your question.
Yeah, so I'm open for your questions.
Yeah, you can start Josh asked you to stop the sharing of the screen so we can see you better.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. In fact, this is very close to home. I'm in Hamburg myself, and especially in Hamburg-Altona, which is where you are.
Oh, nice.
That's interesting to see. I know we have to move very fast because we have one more team to go and only 15 minutes left. So I'd like to understand, there are lots of questions I have. I think it's a very important topic. I'd like to understand a little bit more about the team. Like, what makes this team really capable to solve the issue? Can you just briefly talk about the founders and why they are capable to solve it?
Yeah, so the founder, Robert Heinecke, is a computer scientist and has an IT background, and also the CTO, Sascha Kunze, which is currently on leave, I think, has also an informatics background, but we also have environmental scientists from the Leuphana University and also hard and software development which are based here in Hamburg, and they are enabling our sensors to work very well. Yeah, we also have, that's for that.
And what's your scaling strategy outside of Hamburg or Germany?
The scaling strategy?
Yeah, how will you?
Yeah, so we have different, as I said, different segments where we operate. We are, for example, currently working with DHS, so with the Department of Homeland Security with the US government, in order to detect a wildfire in an early stage. So our sensors are set up a network and near forests, and they are sensing premature wildfire, so that the emergency can react accordingly to that. In the long term, we want to scale by just selling data. So if our sensor network is big enough, we just want to sell the data, not the hardware itself. So currently we are just setting up a fee for the sensor, and then you have a subscription model where you pay an annual fee for the sensor and the service and the maintenance and calibration and stuff. And so that's the long-term strategy, and we also want to enable citizens to be air quality champions. So it's working like you have a sensor at your window and just paying the electricity. Although we are talking about having a photovoltaic on them, so they are more independent from electricity. So we want to really get the topic to the citizens, that they are educating about this, that they are also profiting from our sensors. And in the long term, we want to monetize the data.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, any further questions?
Yes, next question.
I can go. I just have was wondering if you could provide a quick example of a project or kind of behavior change that came out of more transparent data sharing on air quality.
Yeah, so we have a citizen portal where cities can say, okay, I want to publish my data of my city, and where we can say, okay, you get a discount if you publish your data on our portal. And in the city of Hennef, as I mentioned, we implemented a cleaner action plan and deriving further measures for their traffic management system. But we are also working with NTT or Arctic IT in the US to correlate our data with the data of weather, with other data from the city itself, in order to improve the traffic management. So that would be the best case. I think I cannot mention all customer names, unfortunately, but yes, as I said, the big chemical industry leader, I think you know the name. I can't mention it, but we improved the air quality on their chemical sites as well. So they know in advance when something is leaking or something is coming out, and then they get a notification to derive further actions.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we can deal with one more question. So perhaps Yana or Sasha, if you have a question among one of you.
I have just a quick comment. The technology value prop makes sense, right? B2C model doesn't make sense to me because I don't see how effectively it can change the behavior. Also, a lot of weather services now offer pollution suggestions as well. But again, it's just a suggestion. I could tell you from my personal behavior, if I had to drive to a meeting, I'm still going to drive to a meeting, even if it's poor quality of air. Now, the example you just mentioned in passing, where you offer services to like industrial organizations, that to me makes sense. although there are a ton of competition there, like even the HEPA filter. So it's a great competition. It's been in the market for a long time, works very well. So you just need to have a sensor, but most of them have sensors already. So if you have like just a very quick response to the competitive advantage, or how you can grow the market share, that would make sense. But otherwise, it's just a series of comments.
Yeah. So our main asset would be our AI calibration mechanism. So our sensors are gathering the data, and then based on AI, they calibrate itself according to the environment. So you have a certain height where you have to place the sensor, then you have a certain angle in which you place it. Then the companies usually get a form which they have to fill about the data, about the height and stuff like this. And then our AI optimizes the calibration mechanism, so they are really, really accurate. And that's the first thing. And also, yeah, we are actually quite mobile. So if you see those big stations in cities, for example, it takes years to engineer to order them. So we are really on the go and can deliver quite fast our solution. And our AI mechanism also derives the best measure for your city. Let's say if you implement it in a city, and then the AI proposes to use hybrid buses or stuff like that, or make the yeah, you can also use it for urban planning, like planning of the roads or of the cycle roads in the city center. So there are plenty of options, and yeah, that's the main advantage, I would say.
All right. Okay. So I think, okay, we'd better finish here. So thank you very much, Eric, for your presentation. All right. So, okay, let's quickly move to the final team. Janelle, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Riddle is a very interesting startup to provide some kind of investment calculator that shows the dollars return for every dollar invested and the projected value of the future impact and ESG investment. So please go ahead with your presentation here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Janelle Sobey, CEO and co-founder of Riddle. Imagine you each had $500,000 to invest in driving a particular social or environmental outcome. Which organization would you give your money to, and how would you know when you've been successful? The truth is you wouldn't. Millions of dollars are being invested to help drive specific impact outcomes, and yet we don't know how they're performing. And we think that's a problem. Over the last 4 years, impact and ESG investments have grown by 20%. And in last year during the pandemic, they doubled. Currently, there's $38 trillion in assets under management that have been earmarked as sustainable funds. And by 2025, we expect that to hit 50 trillion, representing almost 1/3 of the world's AUM as earmarked as sustainable funds. Well, at the same time, organizations, corporations, and investors are investing blind. There's no standard metric to calculate performance. It's hard to calculate value and returns, and there's no one solution. Our aim is to solve the world's toughest problems faster. The answers are in the data. We're building the world's largest database of performance metrics to help understand which variables help produce positive impact outcomes or even negative impact outcomes, so that we can replicate those variables in other jurisdictions, working on areas like climate change, gender equity, and affordable housing. We see impact investing and ESGs on a spectrum, and we recognize that collecting the data and reporting on the data is a step in the right direction, but we need to move further and do measurement of the ESGs and calculations on the volume and the value of the impact or negative impact that's being created. The solution that we've built is simple. It's a software as a service model propelled by artificial intelligence and machine learning. Think Salesforce in terms of its ease of use, ability to customize, and its flexibility. It allows organizations it doesn't matter which legal structure those organizations have or are, to be able to collect, track, manage, and measure their data. When we talk about the measurement piece, we specifically have built a social return on investment calculator, which accounting firms and consulting firms are using in manual processes and charging somewhere between $40,000 to $200,000 to do one-off reports. We've identified 9 potential customer segments, but currently we're focused on corporations because corporations are providing the most pull and traction currently because of urgency that's been created due to international regulations from their customers, as well as needing to adapt and innovate within their own industries. If we look at just one of our customer segments, and in this case, we're looking at NGOs. We know, and we're focused on North America, UK, and Europe because they're more mature market when it comes to ESG and impact measurement tracking. 92% said that they would purchase our product today, but we know based on our years in technology sales that that's simply not an obtainable close rate. And so we applied 30%, which gets us an MRR of 4.7 million on just that one customer segment. When we look at our competitors, they fall within 3 buckets. We have accounting firms, consulting firms, and other software. What makes Riddle unique is that we're focused on the performance of the data and combining ESG reporting with impact measurement. We built our MVP and our software today with our first paying customers, which represent province-wide NGOs in Canada. And we're currently building out the next phases of development with companies that are based globally. They're both public and private companies, and they have thousands of employees. Our team is experienced and passionate. Myself, I've studied social innovation at a graduate level. I taught it at a local university, and I've been in technology for over the last 10 years. And also highlight my partner, Derek, who was the key lead software architect at a company called Radian 6 that sold to Salesforce a few years ago for over 300 million. We're also well-rounded by our advisors and our investors. And on our key milestones, we're headed towards our Series A raise after we learn from our enterprise clients that we're doing co-product development with right now. We have over $1.4 million in the company, 500 of it being equity, and 970,000 of non-dilutive funding. We're currently seeking partnerships with organizations that are knowledgeable about ESGs and they're passionate about the impact space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jenna, for your very punctual presentation, exactly 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's quickly move to the Q&A. So who's going to be the first?
Maybe just quickly me, because I really have to go. Jenna, I love it. Obviously, you know, ESG and the whole impact investing are very important topics. So please connect with me offline as well on LinkedIn. I'd like to follow up on this. My question would be, how do you get, I mean, everybody's talking about ESGs and they want to measure them, but not many people actually, you know, really understand, and measuring is really difficult. Who do you work with in order to get global ESG measurements? Because you probably, are you based in the US? Are you looking at
Canada?
In Canada. So will you be scaling it globally? Are you looking at global corporates, and how do you get them on, you know, on your platform, basically?
Yeah, good question. So we've counted at this point over 72 different standards and frameworks for how you measure or report on impact and ESGs, which I'm sure isn't surprising to you. And that's why we built the software so that it's customizable, in that we're more preoccupied with the data point and how it's being collected than necessarily in what it's being reported for. So we intentionally built out the tool so that you can report on any one of those standards or frameworks using our software. It also means that that organizations can use it on that same spectrum. So use it for your corporate social responsibility division, or you can use it for your environmental sustainability, certifications or reporting that you have to do, say, under your ESG disclosures. We are based in Canada, so the companies we're currently working with are Canadian, but as an example, one of the companies I listed has plants in 52 different countries. And so it allows for us to, we're doing co-product development with them to get a sense of what we don't know. So we're learning about, yes, here at home locally, but also, what they need in other jurisdictions as well. The standards that we're using that I mentioned, so those are global standards. It would be everything from SASB, GRI, the UN SDG indicators. And so we bring in those frameworks so that companies and organizations can employ those. And then how we do the measurement, we're currently relying heavily on Social Value International methodology as how you do the social return on investment calculations. But we are also looking for, and in the future would like to have our reports accredited by an accounting or consulting firm.
Okay, maybe just a quick follow-up question. What is the objective of collecting the data? What do you plan to do next?
Yeah, the objective of collecting the data is to be, and that's where our AI capabilities come back. So we initially started with a project where we're able to scrape the internet for publicly available impact financial data and information, which is often, as you know, in the form of PDF reports or in sustainability reports on the internet. Once we have enough volume, enough data at volume, the intent is to be able to then run predictability and projections on which variables make up positive impacts so that we can replicate them. So, when you're looking at, say, 3 organizations that are all working in literacy, which organization is actually increasing literacy rates over another, and what were the variables? So, the inputs, resources, activities, indicators that they tracked for that resulted in a positive impact in increased literacy rates. So the goal is really to be able to solve those complex problems faster. From a business model, we have identified different strategic channel partners that would be interested in working with us and purchasing the data.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, next question. Yeah, we have a little bit more time.
Hi, Janelle.
Yes,
thank you so much for the presentation. Yes, I just want to understand. So you have first paying customers. Can I ask you how much these customers are going to pay, and what was the onboarding process? How long it took you to bring them as a clients? Thank you.
Yeah, as an early stage startup, we're figuring out pricing for sure. Currently, our customers range from our earliest customers having paid $948 for an annual license, and we currently are working with companies around 50,000. So fairly significant in terms of client contract value. We are hoping that as we mature that we're able to get those prices up. Our goal is to continue to be able to offer to the nonprofit sector very low and affordable rates. In terms of the onboarding process, I mean, what we've identified is that there's a significant barrier because of education and awareness on just even what data to start tracking. And so we have started to offer consultative services to support that and partnering with subject matter experts and consultants who can deliver that on our behalf. But the entire onboarding process takes about 2 training sessions over, I would say, a month. So we get them to set up, identified what data they know that they need to be collecting. They go through a training demo and tutorial, and then we meet with them again to check in on how their data collection reporting is going.
Okay, I understand. Thanks.
Okay, so is there any more question from other judges? If not, maybe we can finalize the session. No? Okay. Yeah, it seems to be clear. All right. So yeah, it's done. All right. So well, actually, well, our judge members are also very, very busy with some other schedules as well. So actually, all the evaluation was done. So I kindly ask our judge members to have a very quick chat in our separate channel room. So if you are okay with the total score here, and then we quickly make a decision, and then one of you guys can make a final announcement about the winner. That'd be great. Yeah. Wow, what a wonderful multiple tasking from my side here. Cool. Okay. So who's going to announce the result? All right. Great. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Sasha, you just turn on the camera, so maybe I can give it to you. Well, if other judges are okay.
I just turned on to join in, but
yeah. So please, please turn on your camera. Everyone, turn on your camera because it's a really last minute. So yes, I would very appreciate it. Yeah, if all you guys would turn on the camera. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, Yana, Melissa, are you okay with Sasha to announce the results? Cool. Okay. Great. Excellent. Yeah. So
here we go. Okay, so we are super excited to announce that the healthcare startup, let me make sure I pronounce it correctly, Afaya Record is the winner of this session. I just wanted to point out that it seemed to me that it was a perfect application of blockchain in the healthcare space. We like the traction, and we feel like you guys are very clever with your go-to-market and partnership, which will allow for you to scale, and to obviously that would equal a decent revenue in a relatively short amount of time. So congratulations. We are excited to see what your next steps are.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, please make a few comments, few announcements. Umani, yeah.
Wow, definitely. Thank you so much. I'm excited, and I know for sure there's so much that we can learn from the panelists. That has been a great opportunity, and we're looking forward to collaborating. Like Sasha's intros, definitely healthcare, the way to win is through collaboration. So definitely we're looking forward to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Thanks to everybody for your participation. Well, actually, all the scores are pretty much very similar to each other. So basically, it was quite challenging for us to really find the really final the winner. So a big thanks to our finalists and also juries, and as well as also participants today. So for the finalists today, we will keep in touch with you guys and also have another closed session to hear more about your business plan in detail. Also help you guys explore further details about our future business opportunities that our judge members also mentioned. And then also we encourage all you guys to check the AI for Good program online to see more sessions that may be of interest to you. And the next Innovation Factory session is to be held in August, and the application will be open very soon to all kinds of startups using AI to make social impact and help achieve the SDGs. So here you can see our very quick survey. How likely are you to recommend this webinar to a friend or colleagues from 10 to 1? So please evaluate this session as well. Then, yeah, but host and panelists cannot vote. To be fair. All right. Okay. So thank you very much again. It's a really, really great session. And then also, I wish all of you guys the really best luck in your business and in your future. And then I will contact the finalists separately in the future to have a further session to provide more information about your opportunity that you wanted to work with the potential business partners. Particularly, we can connect to you guys. All right. Great. So here, I'd like to say bye-bye to everyone, and good morning or good afternoon or good night, wherever you are. Have a good one. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector.